Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on The Ugly Stepsister, a horror movie about, well, a stepsister who's not too great looking, although, that's by Hollywood standards. And then she decides to get some plastic surgery at a time when they didn't really do plastic surgery. Anyhow, smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Ouch. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 17. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Cinderella meets Cronenberg, according to the Slant magazine. Oh, there's some gross stuff in this. I can't watch a movie like this. This is too gross for me. Just chopping off body parts, trying to look beautiful. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, the era of imperialism and a woman who goes cuckoo bananas trying to make herself beautiful. Oh, and then this is her chopping off her own toes, I think, to fit in shoes. Gross. Written and directed by Emil Blichfeld. It looks kind of bonkers. With Leah Miron, Thea Sophie Locke Naz, Anna Daltorp, Flo Flagerli. Interesting names. Not sure what country this was shot in. It doesn't feel like it was shot in America. And then you've got this, This is her still recovering from the surgery, I guess. And maybe it's the surgery that makes everybody crazy. I don't know. It looks pretty gross, though. Looks pretty gross. Not my kind of movie. But, God, yeah, no, I can't. I can't watch that. I can't watch him try to sew her skin next to her eyeball. Yeah, that sounds terribly gross. And, of course, they didn't really... They get an actress that's, as they say in Hollywood, ugly, movie ugly, right? Which is always an actress who is pretty good looking, and then they kind of like dress her down and don't put any makeup on her, and she, hunches and puffs up her cheeks a little bit. Because she's not that different from, say, the girl on the right. Like the ugly sister's the one in the middle. She's really not that different from the girl on the right. They're all young, and that's part of the problem with these movies. They don't really cast someone who's like, hard to look at, I'll say. And look, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'm not trying to denigrate anybody, but you could cast someone with a really hard look or a weird palette or whatever. But for whatever reason, they didn't want to do that. Probably because they want to keep the same actress at post-surgery if it goes well and she's actually then good looking and just really her in makeup, and then they take away all the things that they're using to ugly her up, which is fine. So how's this go? All right, so first act, probably, it's gonna say Victorian times, maybe a little prior to that, late 1800s era. And the ugly stepsister is getting passed over while all her contemporaries are all getting married and they're all being courted, and she's not, because she's the ugliest one. So she gets a little desperate, and I guess her family pushes this unique solution. They bring in a doctor who's trying to help, but he's also kind of a mad scientist, I think. And he's going to do some surgery on her to make her beautiful. And he does, but, the technology's so primitive, she still has to recover, I'm guessing. And then it could go kind of one of two ways. Either she does become beautiful and then it just continues from there, and it's the old adage like, she's beautiful on the outside, but was she really beautiful on the inside to begin with? Like that kind of thing. And then it turns out she's kind of ugly in the inside, and I don't know, she goes nuts. The other one, and she ends up killing her rivals. It definitely gets bloody. The other way it could go is kind of like her having the surgery is kind of trendy, and it makes her more desirable. Not that she's much different looking. In fact, she's still recovering and she has all these accoutrements on. But because of that, she becomes the talk of the town, and now all the men gravitate towards her, expecting her to be beautiful, post recovery kind of thing. And then the other women become jealous, and it's sort of like her versus the other women. Something like that. It pits the women against each other, and they at some point start killing each other. And then at one point, apparently she cuts off her own toes to fit in the shoes. Gross. Yeah, I'm not sure how this ends. Probably with everybody dying, I'm guessing. Let's see. Do we have a... Yes, a synopsis. Director Emil Blichfeld. Determined to outshine her beautiful stepsister, Elvira resorts to extreme measures to win the prince's heart. Okay. So she pushes this, and it somehow attracts the prince, and then I think she ends up probably fighting and killing her sister in the process. And then again, like, she's really ugly on the inside, or she's become ugly on the inside, and then that eventually comes out on the outside as well. Maybe the surgery, maybe she gets an infection and she doesn't quite recover and her nose falls off or something like that. It's a movie by Shudder, so something crazy is going to happen. When I see it, it looks, oh man, I don't know. Like, they got a scene with the doctor doing some operation where he's like sewing near her eyeball. I mean, it's not for me. I'm a bit squeamish about that, but I mean, it looks like a good horror movie. But it's not my kind of horror movie. I prefer like the monsters, right? I prefer more psychological stuff. I don't like the gore, but I think it'll be good. So I might check it out. Maybe. It wouldn't be high on my list, but I do like a lot of the stuff coming out of Shudder because they do different things, and this appears to be an interesting take. Fairly unique, I would say. Yeah. I don't think I've heard of anything like this. It's kind of it really is kind of a horror version of Cinderella, but it's not Cinderella, which I would be against. So they're not calling it that, and I assume all the names are different. Elvira is not Cinderella, so I'd be on board. Yeah. So if you're a horror fan, I think this is probably your speed. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos. I got to post the live stream on the other sites. I haven't done it yet. Sometimes takes me a while. What's coming up? Wednesday, I'm doing an event at 11 a.m. At one of the senior places, and that is the Center for Independent Living in South Jersey and Blackwood. Again, if you wish to come, you have to call these places, the senior places, to see if it's allowed. Sometimes they allow it, sometimes they don't. Depends on the place. But then on Friday, I will be on the is it Friday? Yeah, Friday. The Dirt Baggery Book Reviews live stream at 4 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, because the show airs Pacific Time at 7. So I'll be talking about books and publishing and whatever else we want to talk about. And then Saturday, I'll be at Valenzano Winery. And that's in Chemung, if you haven't been. It's going to be, it's always fun. I think this is the third time I've been there, and there's a wine tasting, and they have food, and Valenzano's is a great place if you haven't been. They have blueberry wine, along with many other wines. A lot of their wines has a Jersey Devil on it, and so I will be giving a talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil, and more to come. Check out my website. We'll see you in the next one.